Hello, Johnny Tooley here. I feel like I have to talk softly because I'm in the woods and everything is so quiet and I don't want to disrupt anything. Anyhow, I'm showing up today. I haven't done one of these in a very long time, but I'm showing up today because I wanted to talk about feeling stuck. Feeling stuck. Man, that's something I have a lot of experience with. And I was thinking about in recovery circles, a lot of times they call this kind of frustration or this sense of being in between as being in the hall. So you're in the hall, you've walked out one door, but the next door hasn't quite opened yet. So you're sitting in the hall. And previously I had thought of this as like, okay, if I'm going to be sitting in the hall because I can't quite get to the next place, or I don't know what the next action is, or it's just not making sense to me, then I'm gonna sit. I'm decorating my hall because I'm a homemaker. I'm a nest builder. So in my mind, I'm like creating my hallway, right? I've got a comfortable chair. There's a nice window to look out of. If I'm gonna be stuck in the hall, it's gonna be a nice hall. But last week it occurred to me there are other ways to think of a hall. Like when we were kids, the teacher would say, go stand in the hall. If you got in trouble, you had to go stand in the hall. So that was a bad place to be. When I was a senior in high school, though, I spent a lot of time in the hall. Trust me, growing up, I did not spend any time in the hall. But when I was a senior in high school, I spent a lot of time in the hall. And it was a different kind of hall. It was because when I was a senior in high school, I wanted to be in drama. I had been on this track to do calculus, this math track. Since 7th grade, I'm going to do calculus, so I have to do all this math early. And it turns out I don't like math. Math is really hard for me to get my head around, and I was struggling with it. I was making B's. I was struggling with it. But I was struggling to make B's and some low A's in it. I don't think I ever failed anything, but math was difficult. So I got to senior year and I was just like, I don't want to take calculus. That didn't make any sense, right? I'd been on this calculus track and everybody expected me to take calculus. That's what they had been grooming me for. I'm gonna let this little guy pass in his little cart. So they'd been grooming me to take calculus. And somehow I had the courage to say, I don't want to take calculus. Well, he's up behind me now. I don't want to take calculus. And I don't know how I held to that, but I did. So I didn't take calculus. And what I wanted to do was to be in the theater and be on the stage. And I went to the theater instructor and I said, look, I want to be in the performance class. There was a theater production class, and then there was like theater arts. The production class was the performance class. The arts class was like the learning about theater class. I did not want to be in that class. She was a new person. She hadn't been with me before. I had been in one play before then in high school with the other theater director. And like I'd won an award with my lovely friend Linda at UIL. Sorry, for this little part, little tiny part that we actually split up into 2 parts. So we created 2 characters that interacted with each other. We were like clowns in a Moliere play, basically. That represented this one character that Moliere actually wrote. So we actually won an award for this, and that was in the 10th grade, I think. But Mrs. Hesselbein, hi Mrs. Hesselbein, she didn't know me and my ethic and my talent and skill set. So she was like, you have to be in the theater arts class. I was like, oh my God. So I went into the theater arts class, and within the first 6 weeks, she was like, okay, I'm going to find a way to get you into the production class at the semester. And I was like, thank God. So the way that we did that was I had to take a 0 hour, government at 0 hour, which is like 7:30 in the morning. If you know me, 7:30 is not my time. Um, and in return for that, I would be able to have my 7th period, which was the last period of the day, with Miss Hasselbein as her TA, her teacher assistant. So the thing about it was, though, is she couldn't let me leave the campus. So even though it was supposed to be like I didn't have school, like my 0 through 6 period was enough school, I still had to be there for that 7th period. So she'd just let me hang out in the hall. And this hall was kind of an extension of our school. It was on the way to a place that I think maybe athletics or something, a place that not a lot of people would go. So I could sit out in that hall and do my homework. I did audition pieces out in the hall. I messed around in the hall. That hallway was actually a really good place for me to be. It was like a place of freedom and a place where I could get things done and do my thing that I needed to do. And it was allowing me, of course, to do the next thing, which was after school, I was either doing band or was doing theater. So it was kind of a down period for me, a quiet space, but it was in the hall. So I'm just kind of rethinking of what it means to be in the hall. Maybe there's freedom in being in the hall. Like, yeah, I can make my house comfortable and enjoy my hall time, sitting in my chair, watching the birds. But I can also be in the hall, just doing whatever I want to. It's not like a punishment anymore. A hall is a great place to be, and it gets us from one place to the next place. So what do we do while we're in there? That's our decision. What do I do while I'm in that hall? How do I do life? It's really quiet. This is the hall. Anyway, I hope you're having a great day. And if you're not, take a pause, take a breath. It's okay. Whatever you need to do for yourself is exactly what you need to do. See you later. Love you lots.